Hey everyone, welcome to the Build Your English podcast, where we talk about real life in real English and help you speak with confidence when it matters. I'm Clara, and I have a question that sounds simple but feels mildly threatening. Why does time feel like it's speeding up, while our days sometimes feel weirdly empty?
I'm Nathan, and I just want to say, mildly threatening is the correct emotional category. That question doesn't walk into your brain politely. It kicks the door open, sits on your couch, and starts judging your calendar.
Exactly, because you can be exhausted, completely packed, doing things all day, and then you look back and think, wait, what did I actually live?
And the worst part is how normal that feels now. Like it's just adult weather. You don't even complain. You just put on a jacket and say, yep, another week disappeared.
It's the week disappeared thing that gets me. People say it with the same tone they use for losing a pen, like, oh well. Meanwhile, it's your life. It's not a pen. It's your one non-refundable timeline.
Non-refundable timeline is brutal, but accurate.
Thank you. I'm trying to keep it light, but the topic doesn't cooperate. Let's start with the word that shows up in every conversation when people talk about time. Busy.
Busy, the most socially acceptable non-answer in the world.
Right? Someone asks, how are you? And you say, busy. And everybody nods like you just gave a TED Talk.
Busy is emotional camouflage. It sounds productive, even when it means, I'm scattered and I don't know why.
Yes, and it's a strangely comforting word, too. It's like a blanket that's stitched out of urgency. You wrap yourself in it and think, I must be important. I have 30 tabs open.
30 tabs open is not a personality, but we treat it like one.
We do. And the thing is, busy doesn't necessarily feel bad in the moment. Sometimes it even feels safe, like you're protected from something.
From stillness.
Exactly. From that quiet moment where time slows down and you hear your own thoughts. Busy keeps the volume high, so you don't notice what you're avoiding.
That's why when someone finally has a free evening, they don't relax. They panic. They reach for their phone like it's a life vest.
Or they do what I do, which is aggressively catch up. Like, great, I have an hour. Let me use it to repair my entire existence.
Yes, the classic. I'll rest after I earn rest.
Which is insane. Rest is not a dessert you get after finishing your chores. It's a basic human thing. But we treat it like a luxury item.
We turned rest into something you need to justify. And that's one reason time feels so fast, because even the slow moments are filled with pressure.
That's such an important point. Time isn't only measured by clocks. It's measured by how heavy your mind feels while you're moving through it.
Exactly. You can have a free day and still feel rushed, because your attention is sprinting.
I want to talk about attention, because I think that's the real story here. Time passes either way, but attention determines whether you actually experience it.
I agree. And I'd go further. Time doesn't disappear, attention leaks.
Attention leaks. That sounds like something you should call a plumber for.
Honestly, yes. Because it's not dramatic. It's not like your attention explodes, it just drips. Email, notification, random thought, another task, another little, just one more thing. And then suddenly your day has no texture.
There it is, the texture problem.
It's the most unsettling part. You can fill a day with activity, but if your attention isn't inside it, you won't remember it as a lived day. You'll remember it as movement.
I had a week like that recently. And I don't mean, oh, it was busy. I mean, I genuinely can't remember what happened. I know I did things. I know I showed up. I can see the evidence in messages and photos and receipts. But in my memory, it's like fog.
What kind of week was it?
It was a responsible week. That's the best way to describe it. Nothing dramatic, just an endless chain of should. I should answer this. I should schedule that. I should fix this small problem before it becomes a bigger problem. And the week felt long while it was happening. Every day felt stuffed. But when it ended, it was like someone pressed fast forward on the rewind.
A responsible week is such a perfect phrase. Because responsibility is noble, but it can also be numbing.
Yes. And what scared me was realizing how easily that could become my default. Like, I could live in that mode for months and wake up with no real memory of myself.
That fear makes sense. Because a life can be full and still feel empty if you're never fully in it. Presence is the ingredient people forget.
And it's not like we're choosing emptiness on purpose. It's more subtle than that. It's more like we keep postponing presence.
Postponing presence is the modern skill set.
Exactly. I'll be present after I finish this. I'll slow down after this busy season. I'll enjoy life after I get through this week. But the week keeps regenerating like a villain in a movie.
The week has plot armor.
It does. And the next thing you know, you're collecting years like receipts. You have proof you were there, but you didn't actually feel it.
That's the moment when people start saying, time flies, and they sound almost betrayed.
How is it already October? Like October personally attacked them.
But time didn't attack. Time did what time does. We just weren't watching.
Okay, let me ask you something. When did you first notice this feeling? That time was speeding up.
For me, it was when I realized I couldn't remember ordinary weeks anymore. I could remember big events, trips, crisis, celebrations, but regular life became slippery. And I noticed something else. The weeks I remembered weren't the weeks where I did the most. They were the weeks where I felt the most.
That's interesting. So memory is emotional, not logistical.
Exactly. Your brain doesn't archive sent 3 emails. It archives felt calm, felt connected, felt proud, felt small, felt seen. Without emotion, the days become identical.
Which explains why we can't remember them. They don't have a signature.
Yes, no texture, no signature, just the same neutral blur.
And that blur can be terrifying because it makes you wonder if you're wasting your time.
Or worse, if you're trading your life for the feeling of being useful.
Oof.
It's not meant to be harsh. It's meant to be honest. People don't usually say, I regret not being more productive. They say, I regret not being more present.
Okay, mini checkpoint. So basically, time doesn't vanish. Our attention leaks and the days lose texture.
That's it. And once you see it, you start noticing how often your attention isn't where your body is.
Like when you're eating but planning, or walking but scrolling, or talking to someone but thinking about what you should say next.
Yes, we're physically in one moment and mentally in another. That split is the hidden cost.
I want to talk about one place where this is painfully obvious. The phone.
Ah, the rectangle.
The rectangle. I'm not anti-phone. I'm not doing the whole dramatic, phones are ruining everything speech. But I do think the phone changes the shape of time.
It fractures it.
Exactly. It turns your day into confetti. Tiny pieces, constant interruptions. And then people say, why can't I focus? Because your attention has been trained to live in fragments.
And then you try to rest, but rest requires continuity. It requires staying with one feeling long enough for it to soften.
That's such a good point. Rest isn't just not working. Rest is being uninterrupted by urgency.
Which is why doing nothing feels impossible for so many people. Because nothing feels like you're falling behind.
I once tried to sit on my couch and do literally nothing for 10 minutes. Not even meditation, just sitting. And within 30 seconds, my brain started producing emergency tasks like a factory.
Yes. Quick, remember a problem.
Exactly. You should text that person. You should research that thing. You should plan your meals. It was like my mind was allergic to emptiness.
That's not a personal flaw. That's conditioning. The world rewards urgency, and urgency feels like importance.
Busy as camouflage.
Busy as identity.
And then present starts to feel indulgent,
Or irresponsible.
which is tragic because presence is where life is.
It's also where meaning is. Meaning doesn't show up in a rush.
So if someone is listening and thinking, okay, cool, but what do? I want to be careful here. I'm not interested in giving people a list of habits like it's a productivity podcast.
Agreed, but I do think we can offer something useful without turning it into a lecture.
Okay, what's one thing you do that changes the feeling of time? Not by adding more, but by bringing you back.
I practice single task honesty. Not single task productivity, single task honesty. I'll pick one small moment and I'll try to actually be in it. Not all day, not forever, just one moment.
Give me an example.
Washing a cup, walking to the store, making tea. And I don't try to romanticize it, I just notice it, the temperature, the sound, the fact that I'm here. Because what makes time feel rich isn't intensity, it's attention.
That's beautifully said. And it's annoyingly simple.
The best truths are annoying.
Here's my version. I call it proof of presence. Once a day, I try to notice one detail that would be impossible to notice if I wasn't there.
I like that.
Like the way sunlight hits the wall for 10 minutes and then disappears. Or the specific smell of a street after rain. Or the exact expression on a friend's face when they're about to laugh.
That's how you give the day a signature. You're collecting texture.
Exactly. I'm collecting texture, not photos, texture.
And that changes memory. It also changes your sense of time. The day feels longer because you lived it instead of just moving through it.
Okay, I want to shift slightly because time isn't only personal, it's social now. Social media makes time feel performative.
Yes, we don't just experience life, we curate it. And curation pulls you out of the moment by definition.
And it's subtle. You're at dinner and you're half there, half thinking, should I post this? Even if you don't post it, that question already changed the moment.
You've turned yourself into an observer of your own life.
Which is so eerie when you say it out loud.
And later, when you look back, you might have evidence, but you won't have closeness. Because closeness comes from presence, not documentation.
That's something people don't talk about enough. The difference between a memory and an archive.
A memory is lived. An archive is collected.
And archives can be impressive, while memories are empty.
Which is why people can have a full life on paper and still feel like they're missing something.
Here's a question I keep coming back to. If time is your life, then what is stealing it?
The obvious answer is distraction.
Yes, but I think there's a more uncomfortable answer too.
Fear.
Exactly. Fear is a time thief. Fear of slowing down. Fear of being alone with your thoughts. Fear of realizing you don't like your routine. So, you stay busy. You keep moving. You keep the noise on.
That's why stillness can feel like standing under a bright light. You suddenly see what you've been avoiding.
And sometimes what you've been avoiding isn't even dramatic. It's just sadness, or tiredness, or the fact that you're living a life that's not fully yours.
Or that you miss someone. Or that you're lonely. Or that you're not proud of how you've been showing up.
This is where time becomes philosophical. Because time forces you to confront priorities. It asks, what are you spending yourself on?
And most people don't want to answer. So they change the question into something easier. They say, how can I manage my time better? When the real question is, what kind of life do I want to remember?
That's the real question.
And it's not about making every moment meaningful. That's impossible. It's about making some moments honest.
Okay, second mini checkpoint. If I had to say it in one sentence, time doesn't need to be controlled. It needs to be met.
Yes. You don't conquer time. You meet it. You show up for it. That's presence.
And meeting time doesn't require a perfect morning routine. It requires a moment of attention that isn't trying to escape.
Exactly. It's incredibly small, which is why people ignore it. We think big changes are loud, but most real changes are quiet.
I want to bring this back to something practical, without turning it into a list. There's a phrase that helps me when I feel time slipping. I say, I'm here now.
Simple and powerful.
It sounds almost childish, but it works, because it interrupts the autopilot. It's like tapping the glass of your own mind.
That phrase is a doorway, not a slogan, a doorway.
And it's available in any moment. You can say it in the middle of washing dishes, in an elevator, in a meeting. You don't need a retreat in the mountains.
Retreats are lovely, but they're not the point.
Exactly. The point is being present in regular life, because regular life is most of life.
That's the part people forget. They wait for special moments to feel alive. But the calendar doesn't care. It's stacking ordinary days.
So the question becomes, how do you make an ordinary day feel like something you actually lived?
You give it texture. You prevent attention leaks, even briefly. You stop using busy as camouflage. And you make peace with stillness.
Making peace with stillness is a big one, because a lot of us treat stillness like failure.
And it's not. Stillness is where you catch up with yourself.
It's like your internal inbox finally loads.
Yes. New message. You are tired.
New message. You miss your friend. New message. You haven't been kind to yourself lately.
Exactly. Stillness is the delivery system.
Which is why people avoid it.
Right.
Okay, let's land this somewhere human. I want to ask you something personal, Nathan. When you imagine your life later, when you look back, what do you hope time feels like?
I hope it feels textured. I hope I remember faces, conversations, quiet mornings. I hope I remember the feeling of being with people I love without trying to multitask love.
Multitask love. That's heartbreaking.
Because we do it. We're with someone, but we're also half somewhere else. And then we wonder why connection feels thin.
That's the same pattern, isn't it? Presence affects everything. Time, memory, love, meaning.
Presence is the invisible foundation.
Here's what I'm taking from this conversation. Time isn't running away. We're just constantly stepping away from the present, and then acting surprised when we can't remember our days.
That's it. And the fix isn't dramatic, it's gentle. It's small. It's choosing one moment to actually live.
And maybe forgiving ourselves for not being perfect at it.
Absolutely. This isn't a moral test, it's a human practice.
All right, before we go, I want to leave you with one question. Just one. When did you last have a moment that had texture? Not a big event, just a real moment you can still feel.
And if it's been a while, don't panic. Just notice. That noticing is already a return.
Thanks for spending this time with us.
We'll see you next time.
And if you catch yourself saying, I'm busy this week, maybe ask yourself what that word is hiding.
And where your attention has been leaking.
Until next time, be here now.
Meet your time. Don't chase it.